Money management comes with experience, but someone has to teach you how to do it. You look for the high frequency trades. You wait for that, you'll be 10, 20 cents behind. Journal your trades. Focus on getting in and getting out. Less risk, more reward. You're going to trade that stock again. You got to be in the game to see what it's like.
Welcome everyone to TradeStation and another edition of our Trader Interview Series. My name is Michael Burke and I'm Vice President of Client Training here at TradeStation. And today we welcome Fausto Puglisi, veteran day trader, author, and educator. Fausto is the founder of Cyber Trading University and is a featured speaker at many trading seminars and symposiums. And of course, Fausto hosts Morning Market Briefing for us here at TradeStation. Fausto, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So Fausto, I know that you started out as one of the first day traders, but can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you actually got there? How did you get started in the markets?
Okay, well, thanks for asking that question, Mike. It's pretty long, but it's worth it to kind of realize because I'm no different than any other listener right now that started in today's industry. I was a 22-year-old young kid that came out, an immigrant family, first generation, and I went to school supposed to be taking over my father's business in the landscaping business, and I got into the design work. And my dad says, you know what, you'll never be rich being a landscape designer, no matter how good you are. But he always wanted me to do something that would not get my hands dirty. So, back then it was me and my sister, and she's a year older than me. She does some speakings for us here at Cyber Trading University too. We both got jobs as stockbrokers because that was the only way to get into the financial industry because obviously living here in New York, this is what everyone does here. And I kind of hated it being a broker. Didn't realize I was just a glorified salesman. And, and my sister and I quit. But what we've learned, which is very valuable in that business, is that we've learned that the most prestigious job is the trading department. Now, if anyone knows anything about being a market maker, back then it was almost impossible to get a job like that. But there were a couple of brokerage firms that started out that were called SOS firms.
So Fausto, just for our listeners out there who may not be familiar with the term SOS or SOS bandits, let's just kind of clarify that a little bit. SOS stands for Small Order Execution System, and it was a system that for the first time allowed retail traders to place limit orders on the bid to buy or on the ask to sell. So in essence, they became market makers and were able to make money on the difference between the bid and ask spreads. That was really quite an innovation for traders in those early days.
So she got a job as a trader in a SOS firm. I went out there to go try to do it myself because I didn't want to work for anybody. I wanted to keep all the money for myself. I kind of blew up 3 accounts, and she was driving a nicer car than me. So sitting at the dinner table, Turd hit me with all these lingos of like, hey, did you see Instinet? Did you see Level 2? Are you trading direct access? Not having any clue what she was talking about other than she was driving a more expensive car than me. I had to quit, and I raised a white flag, and I went to go and see what she was doing. And let me tell you, Mike, what I learned on the first day on the job, I should have never, ever made my first trade. And that's why I have a passion to teach people, because anybody that wants to do this, you need to learn how to do it the right way. Now, when I started, like I said, there was a very exclusive group of people that were called SOS traders, SOS bandits, that started when I was out there. It was about 300 of us, and now there's over 10 million around the world. And one of the probably the last of the Mohegans back then, kind of died out. I don't want to bore you with that. You can read it in my book, but ever since rules changed and everything, it was a dying breed, and then it came back stronger than ever. But what I've learned is that I love trading, but you got to have a mentor, and you have to learn how to do it the right way, because that is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. And that's why I'm here where I am today. I love it, and I started Cyber Trading University. And, one other thing, not to bore you with it, but the reason why I teach, Mike, and for all the listeners out there, because people always ask me, well, if you're such a great trader, why do you teach? Well, I've learned that the only way you could be a great trader is to teach people how to trade like you so they could trade with you. And that's why here at Cyber Trading University, I just don't teach people. I run a professional trading room. So if we all speak the language, we all make money together. And that's the ultimate goal.
I think that's a great philosophy. So Fausto, I understand that your trading style is very similar to what used to be called tape reading. Can you talk a little bit about that, and then maybe go into how you manage the trade? Where are you setting your profit target, and how are you managing risk?
Great question. And that's right, Michael. When I first started, I was one of these scalpers, one of these tape readers. And to just let everybody know a little bit about how that works is basically my style is looking at the percentage gainers, looking for things that are moving, and then The most important thing is finding the stocks are pretty easy. If any of you ever listened and watched me on morning briefing, you'll notice I'll have a good quality action list of stocks. But the thing is, now you have to know if they're tradable, meaning do they have a very tight spread? Are the ECNs and the market makers are showing you a good tier size, meaning, if you're looking to buy 1,000, you don't want to be buying a bunch of hundreds, from different people at different prices. So my biggest thing I try to focus on, Michael, is I don't focus on how much to win, because you didn't make any money until you sell it. You're losing money getting into a trade, and it's not by spending money on a ticket charge or trade station. It's the spread. So I always focus on what it costs me to get into a position, and then what I do, once we eliminate those positions that are what we call tradable, then what we focus on is we look for the high-frequency trades. I'm not a big indicator reader. Actually, I don't teach indicators at all. Day traders actually do not use indicators because they're lagging, because things move so quickly. If you wait for that, you'll be 10, 20 cents behind the 8-ball. So we're just looking at, once we find the right stock, Michael, we'll look for the support and resistance level on the chart. We'll see where the support and resistance levels are. We'll see if there are any high-frequency trades, what we call here at Cyber Trading University, iceberg orders. If there's any big block iceberg orders, more than normal than what most people are putting out there, at those support and resistance levels, that's where we focus on getting in and getting out. My students, I train them how to always take a profit and meet their day's goal. Great traders, Michael, never buy at the bottom and sell at top. We always buy in between. And that's what makes a good trader and a greedy trader. And that's basically what the philosophy and the game plan of going into a position, what we look for. It's a very simple way of looking at it, as in just as a tape reader, just see what's moving, and then, and come back tomorrow. It's another day.
So as part of your educational curriculum for your students and the traders that you're mentoring, can you talk a little bit about account level risk? How do you approach trade size, and especially somebody just getting started, how do you help them manage that account level risk and what size trades they should be making?
Mike, I hear that question all the time, and people have this misconception thinking that you need a lot of money to day trade, and that's completely false, okay? Everybody, they always think of the Facebooks, the Amazons, the VIX. They always look at the things that are expensive. Very good day traders like what I train, we don't trade penny stocks, okay? We trade NASDAQ National. We like to trade stocks that will give you less risk, more reward. We'll look at $5, $10 stocks, 15. We don't focus on $50, $100, $200 stocks. You need more money, and it's going to cost you more money to sell that ticket. You got taxes and SEC fees, stuff like that, and you need a lot of money to do that. So when it goes into a trade, it's all about risk management. One of the big things that I teach in my course is money management and how to journal. I mean, I don't know if anyone journals themselves, but you have to journal your trades. You have to analyze your trades. Why did you make money in this position? Why did you lose money? Did you get into something too deep? Was it too expensive? Was it too volatile? Was the spread too big? Why did you make money? Because Fausto called it in morning briefing. There's many other ways, factors into it. But money management comes with experience, but someone has to teach you how to do it. One thing we have is our students, when we mentor them, we do our coachings, we give them an Excel spreadsheet that we design that calculates their trades, and by a daily basis and as a journal, because I tell everybody, losing money is a good thing. If you know why you did it, you're not going to do it again. When you make money, it could be a bad thing, because if you don't know why you did that, how are you going to consistently do that? But it all comes from good money management skills, no different than, managing a checkbook or charging your credit card. And by the way, that applies to everything. It doesn't apply just for my mentoring. It also applies for futures traders, stock options traders, forex traders. So you could actually take that with anything in any other market.
I agree. I started journaling my trades 30 years ago when I first started trading futures. You can't underestimate the value of being able to go back and looking at every trade that you've made, where you made the mistakes, and highlighting those. I let that run too long, or I stayed in that trade too long. It's just amazing.
And another thing that comes up, what you just mentioned, what we train our students is that you're going to trade that stock again. This is not like the last time you're going to trade it. So when we do our meetings and our classes in the morning, and I tell students, like, for example, today was a good trade with Michael Kors, right? So I said, some of you that have been around here for 6 months, we traded Michael Kors 6 months. Look back and see what happened. How did you do on that trade? See what notes you wrote on it, because maybe it was out of your league. Maybe it was something you remind yourself that might help you for today. And like you said, going back to your journals is not something like, oh, it's just homework. No, you're using it to make you better because it's going to come down the road. And that's what makes a good trader, not just waking up in the morning and just hit the green and red button.
I completely agree. So Fausto, I want to go back a little bit to what you were talking about in that you trade for a little bit in the morning and then you're off most of the rest of the day. So that's an incredible lifestyle. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, how that lifestyle has affected you and how you take advantage of that.
Well, Mike, like I told you earlier, my parents being, immigrants, my dad worked really hard. My mother worked in a factory. And my parents always wanted to spend more time with me. And my father always taught me, he says, son, whatever you can, do what you can to spend more time with your family and enjoy life, and not getting stressed out as much. And that's how I found trading just being the greatest job out there. And, listen, one of my hobbies, I love to cook. I was almost on Master Chef. I was one of the top 400 people because I love to cook. It's one of my hobbies. And gardening. I love gardening. You got to get your mind off things when it comes to trading. Trading could be a very stressful thing if you keep worrying about it. People ask me, even when I'm on vacation, people like, I'm logging in my trading room. Everybody's like, Fausto, I thought you're on vacation. I'm like, listen, stock market's still open. If I see something moving in, all I need is 30 minutes. If I can make $500,000, what's wrong with that? That's how I paid my vacation. Everybody wants that luxury, that convenience, because, in today's times, Michael, listen, taxes are getting ridiculous. It seems like it's getting harder. Here in New York, if you make $100,000, you're on the welfare line. I mean, it's really hard to make money and pay for these things. We also want the convenience of going out there to find a job that's going to pay us a lot, that is going to give us that luxury. So that's why I love doing it. And when I do my events, I try to explain to everyone, and everybody knows this already, and they try to do it on their own, but you got to surround yourself with great traders. Let them do the work for you. And they'll make your life easier, and they're going to bring students, and they're going to make their lives easier. And you could just come in and say, hey, guys, what's going on? What's moving? See, if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, no big deal. You can go on and enjoy life, especially when you get older. Listen, Social Security is not paying enough, Mike. Nobody's hiring, older people. I mean, here where I am, people get laid off left and right, getting hired for less money. A lot of listeners, they know what I'm talking about. And you don't want to give it to a mutual fund to do it. You could do it yourself. But we also want to enjoy ourselves and not get stressed out. But you got to learn how to do it in a very comfortable manner. And like I said, I just love spending time with my family, being at home as much as I can, doing those great hobbies that I have. But it's very hard to do those things if you're working at a job 9 to 5, and hopefully you're not going to get laid off. And that's how I kind of fell in love with it. So I've been doing it for 25 years.
I think that trading lifestyle is what draws a lot of people to trading. But as you and I have discussed many, many times, trading isn't easy. People think they can come into trading, they're smart, they've been successful in other parts of their life, and they think they can come into trading and start trading and be successful right off the bat. And they often find out that it's not that simple. That's where education and having a mentoring and watching other people trade and learning as much about trading as you can before you start risking your money is so important.
Mike, I say it every one of my events I do. I tell everybody exactly what you said, and I can't agree with you anymore. I tell everyone it's not for everybody, and that's okay. This is not for everybody. And you know what, Mike, and everyone out there, you're going to need more than one mentor. I might not just be the guy. You might not like how I look or how I sound or my style, but you love trading. So, you have great presenters coming on here, and you have some of the best minds of trading in all different industries that come on, and they should sample a little bit of everybody's. But you shouldn't give up, and you should not, and I repeat, don't ever do this. Try to be self-taught. A good friend of mine, Frank Ferraris, taught me, and he says, Fausto, you'll learn more by doing a trade, risking $50 than buying a $50 book to learn how to trade. And I'm like, I never figured that out. He's like, wow, you're right. So once you do the trade, believe me, you learn pretty fast what's going on. But you got to start from somewhere. It's the truth. It's the truth. And you know what, Mike? A lot of people are scared to it's called trader's block, and they just they'll learn and spend all the time and read every book and watch every webinar. But if you're not going to have somebody that's going to teach you to hit the button, and you don't have to do a lot. Like when I train my students, I tell them, do 100 shares. Do one share. One lousy share of the trade. And people's like, how do you make money on it? It's not the point. It's not demo. You got to be in the game to see what it's like. There's also another old saying that a friend of mine, another great trader, taught me. James Palizzi always taught me, he says, Fausto, he said it takes about 1,000 trades before you really start learning how to be a very successful trader. And the first thing everyone thinks, Mike, is like 1,000 trades. Times that by all the ticket charges, that's ridiculous. Well, granted, you're not losing money and breaking even, but if you don't trade, you're never going to learn, and you can't be on demo mode all the time. Like you said earlier, though, it's not for everybody, but it's damn worth the try to go out there and do it.
Well, Fausto, we're just about out of time. So before we go, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about what a typical day is like at Cyber Trading University, and maybe talk about any upcoming events or projects you're working on.
Yeah, Michael, well, it's always an adventure, I always say, at Cyber Trading University. We start at 8 a.m. We have our professional trading room. If I'm not doing a morning briefing at TradeStation at 9, I'm in my trading room doing the same exact thing and rounding up all the traders, all the groups, everyone to get ready to trade. And then we have certain events that run all day long, training courses, other instructors. I'm not the only one there. We have education advisors there, and we're not here to hound anybody or tell them, listen, if you want to do it, you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, But I'd rather you know what it's about before you get yourself involved. One thing I'm very big on, Michael, and just like your company are, I'm very big on customer service. A lot of people need hand-holding. They need somebody to explain it very slowly, very conveniently. Something we're very big on. We're very big on technology. We were one of the first people that started the webinar technology about 20 years ago. We are the first original trading room, online trading room before anyone started. We do events every week. We're going to the busy season. Right now, being in August, this is the best time to learn. September, October, November, the best months of the year to trade. We got a couple of big events that are coming up. We're doing a big event in Chicago with several of the best educators in the industry of all different markets. So that's a really good, fun event. We'll be doing presentations with you guys in Las Vegas. We got a big on-site event that we do here in New York in our office at Cyber Trading University. But one thing I always try to tell everybody is that the on-site events are great, but you're not going to learn how to trade being in there for 2 days. When I do my training, it takes about a year, I tell everybody. And everybody's like, a year? I'm like, well, listen, it takes about a month or two just to learn it. And then when you understand how to play the game and you're consistent, then it's nice to come to an on-site event and go from there. So we kind of do the opposite. I'm only as good as the students that I train, and that's what it's all about. But you got to learn before you can earn. And it's an 80 to 90% failure rate, and because most people are being self-taught. So, listening to this podcast and upcoming podcasts that you're going to do, they're great, but make a choice, see if it's for you. We tell everyone, do a trial with us. It's so inexpensive. It's a few bucks. If you don't like it, we'll give you money back. We don't need your money. We just want to pay for the technology, but we're looking for serious traders. And you should sample a little bit of everybody's product and then see if it's for you or not, and then move forward. And because worst thing that happens, you know what? You just spent your lunch money and you realize it's not for you, but you have to start somewhere. That's the beauty of it.
So Fausto, it was really great talking to you today. I think everyone can feel your passion for trading, and I know it really comes through in your education. So thank you very much for spending this time with us today.
Thanks for having me again, Mike, and thanks, TradeStation.
Well, again, I want to thank Fausto Puglisi for spending this time with us today. This was great. You can discover more about Fausto at cybertrading.com, and be sure to tune in and subscribe to more of these TradeStation podcasts. And of course, don't forget to visit our website at www.tradestation.com to learn more about our outstanding educational resources and online brokerage services. The preceding podcast was for educational purposes only. All of the symbols and trading ideas discussed by the instructors and guests were for educational purposes and not recommendations. Active trading is not suitable for everyone. Options trading carries a high degree of risk. You can find the characteristic and risks of standardized options disclosure and additional disclosures on the TradeStation website.